never heard such a bunch of mumbo-jumbo that I can't follow or I can't understand. It changes on a daily basis. And in effect, it leaves me no place to move or no place to do anything. So at some moment, I have to take the courage and the commitment and then discipline myself over time. And I'm sure that anyone that set up a multi-level marketing business or anybody that set up a business or a franchise business, it takes more than a day to do it. But each day that you do it well and you progress with that movement of doing well every day, it gets easier every day. But it is a commitment over time. And I think we've forgotten that in a lot of the things that happen today, because money has been relatively easy, and now today it's still easy. It's just a matter of commitment and making sure you're aware over time and not getting caught up with all the spin that's going on, like panic or words like panic. I think, how ridiculous is that? It's going to create panic. And you can predict there's going to be panic from all the rubbish that they're putting out there. To me, the reason why I would be at this 3-day event is because I want to be around like-minded people that speak in a certain way, that know that there is a way to do this, and be amongst that group of people, not amongst a group of people that are being herded into this, not doing anything, not committing to anything, not understanding anything. I think it's important to be at the 3-day just so you're around people like us that are moving towards something, and people like you for being on this call, because I think that that's what's going to be the best thing of all, is being around like-minded people that are sharing knowledge, and at the very moment they're sharing knowledge, they must be reducing your risk. And at the second they do that, they must absolutely be taking you towards a much better future. So for me, it's around being around people like are on this call, like Mike, Robert, John. All the people that will be there are people that are like-minded, using words and language that we use rather than the rubbish that's on TV.
It's not only that, Kelly, is that, and I can hear some of the minds out there say, well, it's easy for you, I don't have any money. And I've not had money too. But if once I made the commitment to be something, I would do it in spite of not having money. So that's what you're saying about commitment over time, is most people don't have the guts. They don't have the commitment. It's really easy to say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, and your spirit dies if you know you should be here. It's not, this 3-day program is not for everybody. If you're broke, go pay your bills and suck your thumb. But if you know you have to be here, then that's where the commitment starts. And it never stops. I mean, I've been flat broke, but I never said I can't afford something. Like even today, I'm starting another business just because I don't need the money. It's just because I am committed to learning. So the real thing for most people, especially those with no money and worried about the economy, unless you make a commitment to your higher self, you're not going to make it. I don't care if you don't come to my 3-day, but I do care that you don't make a commitment to the better side of your life. That's the biggest thing. If you cave in with all the other wimps out there saying, oh, the economy's bad and why does the government save me, then you really shouldn't be in Mike Dillard's program. You don't have the guts, you don't have the makeup, you don't have the skill, and you don't have the spirit. So I don't care if you don't have money, but I do care if you're committed to becoming what you want to become. That's the most important thing, and it does take time. And that's really 99% of it. It's not whether or not you study something in the 3 days or not, because that's just 3 days. You have the rest of your life. Right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Just over 3 years ago, I was broke and waiting tables, right? But I've always kind of had a similar attitude to you, Robert, that I knew who I was inside, regardless if my bank account reflected it at that moment in time. It was irrelevant to me, and you do what you have to do to become what you want to become, and it is just about commitment, work ethic, sacrifice, whatever it is that you want to do. I don't know if it's a character flaw that we have or whatever it may be when it comes to this desire to either win or fulfill goals or be obsessive about accomplishing what it is you put your mind to. I think that's a trait that I definitely have, and over the last couple of months since your event, since reading Prophecy, I've been obsessed with knowing that this was coming and winning in it, and beating this.
But the point is, that 3-day event wasn't the event. It was just one event on the commitment to your life.
Right.
And this 3-day event, if you're saying, well, will he guarantee that I'll get something out of it? The answer is no. This 3-day event is, for some of you, the biggest thing you'll ever come to because you haven't got money to get to it. And your challenge will be to get the money in time to get to it. But if you don't really have the guts or the spirit or the heart, then that's another problem. That is a huge psychological character flaw that nothing will ever save you from yourself. Nothing. And that's, I'm speaking as hard and as fast as I can to you because 90% of the people are looking at this market crash as something bad. But for you, myself, Kelly, John Cypher, this is just a blip along the way. It is part of the thing that's going to challenge our commitment to be the best that we can be in this life. And unfortunately, with most people, they don't have that commitment to be the best they can be in their lives. They want the easy road. They want to flip real estate. They want somebody to pay them a higher, give them a pay raise. Well, so a 3-day is not going to help you because you can't help yourself. That's really what I'm saying.
For the people who are coming like myself and those on the line, like I said, I can't wait because this is what I'm obsessed with right now and learning this. Robert, because I got to be honest with you, I have there are different goals and things that I want to accomplish in my life, and I can't do that. The primary teacher along that path
The reason I'm not hurting today is because, like it or not, most people have a house over their heads. Kelly and I also start our own businesses. So the other thing you learn besides how to predict the future is how to create your future. That's what Blair Singer's going to teach PERT, planning, evaluation, review techniques, how you go in the future and look backwards. And the third part is how to print your own money. And, Mike, the reason I'm not really pumping it right now, this 3-day, is because there's something bigger at stake, and that's each individual's commitment to their own life. Because, 3 days is not going to change that if they haven't got the guts. I mean, Kelly and I spent this morning together, and I have relatives who I refuse to help anymore because they think that if I help them, their lives will get better. Well, I can't help them. They got to help themselves. Right, Kelly?
Absolutely, and I think that's my take on this, Mike. I've been going to these events for over 20 years. Robert, about this thing on 3 days. It's like, what do I do when I go away from that 3 days? What do I apply in my own life? And for me personally, I have always taken one or two things away from every one of these events and applied it because I'm committed to the idea that I can become bigger than what I am. And I know that when I get into the rooms, like into these 3-day programs, the thing that gets me the most is I watch people that come back that have made changes in their lives, and it's odd that you can really predict the people that will be back on the programs most times just simply by the fact of what they do after the program.
Yeah.
So during the program, I have no doubts that people will get such a different point of view in the room and different ways of looking at the future, thinking about the future, being in the future, that they'll feel so supported in those 3 days, they will actually have a breakthrough where they see some level of a different future. But the real question is what Robert's saying. At the end of that, what do you do for yourself? How committed are you as you leave that room? Because one thing that I never am concerned about is what goes on in the room. What I'm more concerned about is how do people apply it at the end of the room, and that's the thing about printing money. What are you going to do the day you leave? What is the thing that's going to cause you